smashing yourself in the head feels better than watching Manchester United play at the moment. I have to say that, lads and lasses. How's it going, everyone? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. And it is not a very, very happy evening tonight because United are just so bloody bang averagely bad, aren't we? There's no painting over it at the moment. We're just clueless out there. We've just drawn with AZ Alkmaar 0-0 over in the Netherlands on a plastic pitch in Den Haag. Absolutely freaking gash-tastic performance by Manchester United in every single possible aspect, really, apart from, I suppose, defensively or goalkeeper-wise. That was okay. But everything else, I must say, it was truly terrible by Manchester United. Just that bad. Let's get into the game then. I mean, AZ Alkmaar, let's just start off by saying this. They deserved to win that game. Manchester United deserved to lose the game. We weren't good enough to get a point from that game, in my honest opinion. In the end, it's a great result for Manchester United. In the end, it's a point we've got in a game that we didn't really deserve to get a point from. So we've gone away from home in the Europa League, got a point against a good Dutch side who are currently a point behind Ajax, third in the Eredivisie. It's not a terrible result when you look at it on the face of it like that. But when you actually analyse the performance, when you actually watch the game, and you realise that just how outclassed we were by this bang-average Alkmaar team, and okay, maybe they're not bang-average, they're a good team. They certainly deserve to beat us in terms of chance creation, in terms of going for it, in terms of getting at United. They deserve to win. Not to mention the fact they actually had 2 penalty shouts throughout that game, which were penalties. The officials just got it completely wrong and had a nightmare, lucky for us, because there was a chance where Brandon Williams handballed it. If there was VAR, that would have probably been given as a penalty. And of course, Fred tumbled one of their players over it in a very cynical fashion, which was an absolute stonewall penalty for them. So they could have had a couple of penalties, aside from the fact that David De Gea has had to make a couple of very good saves, aside from the fact that defence have had to put in a little bit of a backs-to-the-wall jobby, the likes of Rojo, the likes of Lindelof, constantly clearing away the threat of balls coming in. Because that's what happened. AZ Alkmaar, they just peppered our box, especially in that second half, with crosses into the box. Sooner or later, some problem was going to be caused, but thankfully our defence actually did a decent job of getting everything away. So I must say, there's some positives in the game, I guess, and that is that Rojo and Lindelof and De Gea, they perform well. But it's a bad night at the office when those players are your best players, because the likes of the forward players barely even really entered into the game. You know what I mean? They never came, really. They were on the pitch, but they didn't really play. And I guess it's not really their fault. We just set up very defensively, very, very negatively. On the counter-attack, 4-2-3-1 there. Fred and Matic in the centre there. They just offer us nothing, man. They offer us nothing in the middle of the pitch there. The midfield basically was bypassed by AZ Alkmaar in that game, throughout that game. They had a lot of joy down the wings, beating our wing-backs, had a lot of joy getting balls into the box. So United had just got away from the Netherlands here with, by the skin of our teeth, a point. Somehow we've managed to get a point from them. If we're looking about the individual performances in the team here, crikey. I mean, the young lad, Brandon Williams, coming in, 19 years of age, he's done okay, to be fair. He's done all right. I thought he did put in a good performance. Great to see someone making his debut, first team, starting debut. I think that's fantastic for him to put in a performance that was as good as that. It wasn't mesmerising, but at the same time, he did all right. Apart from, that handball incident's not really his fault. So he did all right. Diogo Dalot on the other side. I mean, I was not really too impressed with what I saw from Dalot throughout the game, which is not usually the case. Usually, I love what I'm seeing from him going forward, getting down the right, causing problems, getting balls in. Didn't see an awful lot from him today there. Fred and Matic, they're just absolutely bloody useless, man. Fred Flintstone in the centre of the park there, he is prehistoric in the way that he goes about playing for United in our midfield. He is. He just doesn't seem to have much of an impact when he plays. And I've been calling for him to play recently, so I'm happy that he played. But I was just expecting to see a bit more from him in the middle there. Matic, you know what you're getting from Matic. You're just getting a static, frickin' twatic Frankenstein's monster who is just over the hill now and doesn't really offer Manchester United's midfield much at all, other than looking, reasonably hard. Other than that, it's like, what are you even doing there, Static Swatic? Bloody useless again from him. In front of him, I mean, Wan Mata, little Wan. Gotta love Wan. What a nice bloke. Unfortunately, he's not really doing a lot for United at the moment creatively. Just not really happening for him. Angel Gomez today, was excited to see him play. These lads up top there, I'm talking about these lads up there, they just didn't really get many opportunities up there. We barely created for them. We didn't have any shots on target hardly until right at the end of the game, I think. It was just one of those all-time pitiful, pitiful Manchester United performances that make you want to stab your own eyes out, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? You're lucky that I'm not doing this post-match video here with one eye, because at one point I was thinking, should I just stab one of them out? That's how freaking bad it was. But no, honestly, man, really terrible performance. If you didn't get to watch the game, well done you. Well done you. If you were busy, if you had to do something else, well done for not watching that absolute part of wank game, because it was dreary, man. Lacking creativity, lacking threat, lacking character, lacking bottle, all those things that we usually lack were on display in that game today, particularly creatively. I know what Ole Gunnar's trying to do here with these young lads. He's made 8 changes from the previous game. He's obviously put the faith in the younger lads today, and some of them looked all right, to be fair. I don't want to have a go at all of them. They just didn't really have much of an opportunity to do it, but the way that we're playing our football is a big concern, because you can say the players are not good enough. We don't have the good enough players to be able to play for Manchester United in this style. But Ole Solskjaer is the man who is getting this team to play a certain way. He's got to be responsible for the style of play, as well as the coaches and all that sort of stuff. And in that game, I didn't see any real style whatsoever. We didn't really have an answer for Alkmaar. This is AZ Alkmaar, okay? They're not Ajax. They're not Bayern. They're not one of the biggest clubs around Europe. They're a good team in the Netherlands at this moment in time. They truly are. And they're in a good bit of form. But, United should be doing a lot more creatively, a lot more going away from home there, trying to set up a little bit more attacking wise. So I was a bit disappointed with how we set up, with how defensive and on the counter we were playing there, and lacking the ability to really cut through them and penetrate them at all. It's funny because Louis van Gaal, the original Dutch Toad, was in the house at the stadium, watching on from the sidelines. Louis van Gaal, LVG. And did he bring that freaking Dutch falafel eating stroopwafel eating vibe to the place? He did. And it caused problems for United, I think. I don't know. He just seemed to have some sort of effect on United, where we played like Louis van Gaal's Manchester United while he was there. Very slow, very backwards and sideways, and lacking in penetration, lacking creativity, lacking any real threat going forward. It was straight out of the Louis van Gaal playbook, it was. So look, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm not going to get on him in this video. He needs time. Look, we all know the Glazers are a bunch of twats, lads. They are. They didn't strengthen in the sun. We're so many points behind Liverpool and Man City. They didn't strengthen in the key areas. We lost our key, some of the big name players. I was going to say key players, but they weren't key players. They were shite. But the big name players like Lukaku and Sanchez, Herrera as well was actually a good player for us. We didn't replace. So that's where the problems stem from. We all know that. We've been talking about that. It's the truth. We can't really expect Ole Gunnar to just turn it around overnight. But still, in the same token, the style is an important thing. The tactics are an important thing. I said it in my live stream. Look at how Sheffield United have started the Premier League campaign and the way they're playing. Look how Norwich City have played in a handful of games this season. Set up playing exquisite, silky football, even though they don't have the squad that's even close to Manchester United in terms of technical ability. So, what does that mean? It means that there are not just problems out there in terms of the players and how they're doing it, and the characters and the leaders out there and all that sort of stuff. It's also a problem with the tactics and the coaching. There is. And whether it's just a case of time is going to be the best healer and time will solve all problems, I don't know. I hope that is the case, and I hope this team does start performing a lot better and we do start to get somewhat of an identity at the club. Because that's what we're desperately lacking. We don't have a clear ethos. We don't have a clear ethic of what we're trying to do out there. We just turn up and it seems like we just don't have an answer. We don't have a way of cutting through teams or penetrating teams. And it was a defensive backs-to-the-wall job in that second half for United against AZ Alkmaar. It really was. Credit to Rojo, actually. I thought Rojo did a great job of clearing stuff away throughout that game. David De Gea made some fantastic saves. Probably gets my man of the match. One of those two. And it's easy to say that because there was no creative threat. There was no goal scored. There was nothing going forward for United. Angel Gomez, exciting talent. Didn't see a lot of him. Mason Greenwood, exciting talent. Didn't see a lot of him up there. Barely got him any service whatsoever. Juan Mata, didn't see anything from him. So it was just one of those performances by United where we created absolutely nothing. And in the end, we're so lucky to come away from the game with a draw. But seriously, sort your bloody lives out now, United. Let's start playing some football. Honestly, I feel bad for the travelling fans here who've gone over there to watch that and paid their hard-earned to watch that pile of gash. Do you know what I mean? It's a disgrace, the style of football we're playing right now. But I think the last few years, the last 5-6 years have proven that there is no quick fix at United, okay? There is no manager that can come in overnight and just turn Manchester United's fortunes around. If Pep Guardiola came in, do you think with this squad, he's really getting us in the top 4 this season? I don't know. Maybe after a while, he would be able to get us playing a certain style, which is one thing, I guess. But Ollie definitely needs time. That's what I'm saying. In terms of tactical abilities and astuteness and things like that, I haven't seen a whole lot from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What I want him to do is revert back to whatever the frick he was doing when he first took over at United in that interim capacity. Whether it's a different formation, different tactics, playing Pogba up there, however he was motivating him, we need to get back to that style. Because since then, since he was given the permanent role, it's all gone downhill very, very fast. And I'm sick and tired of watching my glorious, beloved Manchester United team play such toothless football out there. Lacking in cojones, lacking in bottle out there big time. You know, it's a disgrace. It really is. United need to step up. We need to start playing properly. Ollie needs to get the team playing better. It's really... I love Ollie. I want him to stay as United manager. I want him to be a success. But he's got to keep improving and progressing. And at the moment, this season so far, it doesn't look like we have much. But it's still early days. It's a point away against Alkmaar. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to take this one on the chin because, personally, I don't really give two shits about the Europa League anyway. Look, I know it is probably our most realistic way of getting into the Champions League this season. I don't see us winning the competition this year. You know, I just don't see us winning it. It's a difficult competition to win. United, on paper, should be one of the teams that are in the mix and in the hat to win that. But at this moment, I just don't know. I think... Although, you know, it is important to us because we're not going to finish anywhere near the top 4. It could be a route in. But at the same time, Thursday nights, distractions, it's just annoying. It is annoying. But then again, it's a great opportunity for Ollie to play these younger players, to blood the youth players. Great to see Brandon Williams getting a start today. Great to see Angel Gomez on the pitch. And he did do a couple of nice things. Great to see Greenwood starting the game, even if he couldn't get on the score sheet. Don't really think it was his fault today. He just didn't really get the service. It's not like he missed a hatful of sitters like Rashford has recently, who incidentally came on the pitch with frickin' Jesse Lingard, man. Jesse frickin' Shingard. What does he have to do to stay away from the team for one game, this lad? Do you know what I mean? Like, he comes on the bench. Fair enough, it's in the Europa League and we've got the kids out. But Jesse Lingard's not a United player to me. He's not cut out for any sort of a game in a United shirt. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, guys, let's get into your comments and stuff for a little while now. Those are my thoughts on the game. I think it's truly gash-tastic what's going on at United. We've got to step it up. Ollie's got to get them playing better football. The players need to man up and show a bit more character. But I think somebody said it in the live stream. I think Ollie, it almost looked like we've gone there to get the draw today, which is pitiful, man. When you come up against AZ Alkmaar and you're Manchester United, we should be going there to decimate them 4-0. We don't play for a draw against Alkmaar. It seemed like that's what happened. And in the end, we were fortunate to get that. We were fortunate to get the point. We were so lucky that one of their penalty shouts was not given. And we were so lucky that David De Gea was in a good bit of form and managed to stop some very good shots by Idrissa and some of their other players that were just very goal hungry today, having shot after shot after shot on our goal. And United did an okay job defending, but, you know, it could have gone very differently today is what I'm saying. And it would have been a deserved win for them if they had won it. And I don't say that lightly, guys, you know. I really don't. It's just the fact that during that game, they were the better team. And United are a much bigger team with more technically gifted players, bigger names even, I guess you could say. Certainly on there, players like Mata De Gea, Matic all starting, big money players. Just absolute bang average dog turd shite. Manny Souflaki, Kalispera to you, my friend. Thank you very much for getting in here. Rock and roll star, Manchester is blue. Oh my fuck, I can't believe I read that one out, you bastard. Anyway, fair enough. I mean, at this moment in time, I'll never say Manchester's blue, but Manchester City are the best football team in Manchester right now. I can't lie. Much better team than United. Anyway, Manny comments, this just spells disaster, Man United's future. No world-class player will want to play for a bad team with no Champions League. Hence, Man United will have to spend extra premium to attract and acquire such players. You're right, Manny. Like, I don't think we should be trying to do that right now, though. Until we are back in the Champions League, let's sign other caliber players. Let's sign players who maybe next year can be a Champions League quality player, if you know what I mean. I think that's what we need to do. Players like Harry Maguire. Maybe, you know, Dan James is a good acquisition, it's turned out. Who else? You know, you could get James Maddison from Leicester City. Maybe not until the end of the season, but you can get players like that who are still good players and you know are going to progress and will add something to our team right now and will improve Manchester United, but they're actually realistic to come and they're not just coming for the money. I don't want United to go out there and sign players that are Champions League caliber players that want to come to United just because we will pay them more than what they're getting elsewhere. No, I want a player to come to United because they relish the prospect of playing for a bigger club or a big club like United and they're hungry. That's why players like Maddison are a good shout. Joe Breheny comments, who was your man of the match pick? I think I may have mentioned it earlier on, Joe, but I'll let you know again. I'll probably give it to David De Gea. I mean, he made a few great saves. He's a big reason why we didn't lose that game tonight. If not for a few great saves from him, we'd have been down and out in that game. Berber Spin comments, just getting over a stomach bug and United made me sick again. Oh no, sorry to hear that, Berber Spin. Hopefully you feel a bit rosier anyway. It was a bottom of the pit, sickeningly bad performance. Pit of the stomach destruction session by Manchester United in that one though, wasn't it? Disgraceful. Gary Wells comments, Ollie is saying exactly what I said he would. Good performance on a bad pitch. Ludicrous, even calling it a top performance for some players. Are you taking the actual piss, Gary? Obviously I'm on here live doing my reaction here. I can't watch Ollie Gunner's post-match. But are you telling me he's tried to pan that off as a decent performance, lad? He should be going out there and saying it as it is, talking real shit. He should be saying, look, it just didn't happen tonight. We were bloody garbage. You know, we've gone there, we played for a draw in the end. We're bloody lucky to come away from the draw. That's what he should have said. Should have said there was just not any bottle or action out there for Manchester United. We couldn't penetrate, we couldn't cut through, we didn't have an answer to them. I got the tactics wrong. The players weren't up to it. You know, but he's not saying that, is he? He's just glossing over it again, unfortunately. But fair enough, I understand why they have to do that. They've got to keep the squad harmony. But at the same time, don't blame it on the pitch. I mean, the pitch was a shocking plastic pitch by all accounts, but it's the same for everybody. I know they might have a slight advantage playing on it week in, week out, but it's not down to the pitch why we got Boston dominated in that game. It's still a flat surface at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's a piss poor excuse if that's the excuse that we've come out with here. But I don't think it was a top performance for many players. I mean, there were some good performers in there. The defence has done all right, like I said. I thought Darren James did all right at times. You know, I'm struggling. I'm struggling in that one. Gomez looked good at times, but I am struggling with how anybody could say that was a decent performance for any players, really, and how, United did a good job, because we didn't. It was an awful performance. So lucky to hang on with the draw there. Thank you for your comment there, Gary, and letting us know that. Alex Rudd in the house with a super chat. Thank you very much, the Ruddinator. Much appreciated, pal. He comments and says, have a drink for your boredom. Oh, crikey. I will. I think I'm going to inject a little bit of vodka into my eyeballs later, Alex. I think I have a double effect of sedating me, but also stopping me seeing such drab football. Do you know what I mean? Because that is how I was feeling in that game. So I might just straight up eyeball Paul it later. You probably don't have a clue what I'm talking about there, pal. If you want to watch an old school English film, watch Kevin and Perry Go Large, okay? It's you'll probably think it's absolutely the shittest thing you've ever seen. Anyway, but I liked it. Thank you very much there, Alex Rudd, for your super chat there. I am going to do that, pal. Much appreciated. We got a comment here from Tarek Kadmi, who comments, Rashford thinks he is Cristiano Ronaldo. Let Fred take the free kicks. Hey, you've brought up a great point here, Tarek, that I wanted to talk about, so thank you very much for that. Rashford came on, looked Gashford, looked Trashford, looked Hashford, looked Mashford, looked Cashford, looked Crashford, looked frickin'... That's enough frickin' shoulds, foods. Anyway, the point I'm making is he was absolutely dog-turned shite, okay, again, but... You know, I don't understand why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's actually put him on the pitch, but what I want to say is, the free kicks, like that free kick he had, he's in such a wide position... He's been awful with set pieces and free kicks recently, like truly fundamentally terrible. And he decides to try some sort of an audacious free kick today, which Cristiano Ronaldo, anybody, would struggle to put in the back of the net, in my opinion, because it's such a wide angle, very far out. But no! Marcus has to have a pop on goal, even though the cleverer thing to do would be to just loft the ball in to his teammates. But anyway, it's about the execution. Fair enough. If he smashes it in, we all go, what a great move that was from Marcus Rashford. What a great idea to have a pop there. But he didn't. And unfortunately for United, we've struggled to score any free kicks for a very long time. Both in terms of indirect and direct free kicks. We just cannot put the ball in the back of the net from them. We don't have a seasoned free kick taker who you can depend on, who can come in and slot it away even half the time, or even a fifth of the time, to be honest with you. We don't have that Beckham. We don't have a set-piece specialist that we desperately need, which is why, we're talking about it a little bit in the watch-along. Somebody like Christian Eriksen would be a fantastic signing for United. Doesn't have long left on his Spurs deal. Maybe we could convince him to come, and he does give you that. Apart from being a creative player, which is what United are hugely lacking, it also gives you a great free-kick threat, which we just don't have. James Maddison, another good shot. There's some players that can offer us that we don't have. But yeah, I agree with you. For now, Rashford shouldn't be nowhere near direct free kicks. He cannot take them. He cannot score them. He's had so many chances now throughout this season, and he's bottled them all pretty much. One of them hit the bar. I suppose that's the best that we've seen from him. He doesn't score free kicks for United. So I agree, he shouldn't be taking the free kicks. Give somebody else the mantle. Give somebody else the opportunity. Allow somebody else to have the chance. Comment here, super chat in fact from Jarvis Cocker. Thank you very much, the Cockinator. He comments and says, Williams played decent at left back, bright future. Yeah, good shout actually. Brandon Williams thought great positive for the game really is the fact that we had a 19-year-old making his first team start debut and put in a decent shift, looked solid, did some good things, tried to get forward when he could. Wasn't his fault the players in front of him were just completely lacking in any ideas, movement or creativity at all. He actually looked all right. So fair play to him. I like him. And hopefully he can come on and be an important part of this team. Fact is, I'd rather we give these younger players that are potential future talents the opportunity than somebody like Ashley Young. Even though Ashley Young has been a good servant to United over the years, I just think he's past it now. He's only going to diminish in quality now. Whereas we could spend that time and maybe not lose that much in terms of quality out there on the pitch by giving somebody like that an opportunity. So I was happy with the selection today at the back there. Dallow and Williams, that is a positive young look defence that we had, and with Rojo and Lindelof as the sort of senior players in there. Interesting to play Rojo and Lindelof as the centre backs tonight. That was quite an interesting move. I was happy with the selection before the game. I'd have liked to have seen James Garner start instead of Matic. So I just think you do not get anything from Matic anytime he plays, pal. But fair play, Williams. Thank you very much, Jarvis. Yeah, Williams had a good game. Want to see a lot more from him. Leaf Comedy comments, Eriksen wants Madrid. Morrison would cost too much, as Leicester don't need the... I guess you meant Maddison. As Leicester don't need the cash. That's very true. I don't think Leicester City will want to get rid of him. And then they sold Harry Maguire to us for £80 million for a centre-back, okay? Do they really want to lose out on one of the most creative, one of the most players that are a leader in their side as well at this stage or in January? They won't want to do that. I don't think they will take even 100 million for him in January, if I'm perfectly honest. Teams do not need to sell as much. Like you say, everyone's got money in the Premier League now. So they don't need to sell like they used to. And it's not so much of a law for Manchester United to take it away. I mean, the fact is, Maddison, the way Leicester are going, if Leicester continue the way they are, they've been in some good form. If they are in a top 4 push come Christmas time, then he'll probably just want to stay at the club anyway for the rest of the season there. Eriksen, would he want to go to Real Madrid, or would he want to go to a different country and play for a top team that can provide him with the opportunities to win silverware and win accolades and maybe get more money too? Probably would, wouldn't he? So look, there's no easy player for United to go out there and sign right now. That's just the fact of the matter, is it? I was just saying that those are good examples of players that we need and that are more realistic than some of the other players, because Eriksen's, I think it's known that he's on his way out of Spurs. And I think it's known that James Maddison would like to play for a bigger club at some point. And Man United, even though out there on the pitch right now, we're not a better club than Leicester, really, but we are a bigger club. So there's a bigger future ahead at Manchester United, hopefully, anyway. Christopher Di Bono comments, would Maddison want to come, in all honesty? Very good point for the reasons I've just talked about. I'm not convinced that he would. He's in a good run of form there. He's a big player for them. He's in a good team. They're doing well. Rodgers has got them playing decent football. They've had a good start to the season. They could be in with a chance of top 4. Man United, on the other hand, we're right in mid-table, 10th in the league. We're struggling. There's pressure. There's a lot of negativity surrounding United. The fan expectation is huge at United compared to most other clubs. That's just the way it is. So it's a lot of pressure for a player to take. I hope that he would want to step up to a club like United for not just the money, but also the opportunity. But like you say, the opportunity is not as good as it once was. Stephen Shorrock comments, Eriksen and Kane would turn us around. If Poch ends up at United, Kane will follow. I mean, if that ever did happen and Ole Gunnar didn't last at United and we got Pochettino, I mean, recently he's been having a mare, but there's no doubt he's a good coach, although he hasn't actually won anything. But I do think he's a good coach, to be fair. He's done a good job at Tottenham over the last few years anyway. Eriksen would be a great signing because we are lacking creativity. He would give us that creative spark. And then Harry Kane, if you've got Eriksen and Kane in your team, you've got someone that can create and you've got someone that can cap off an opportunity. And that is exactly what Harry Kane does. He's a goal scorer. And we don't have that right now. Martial's out injured. Still question marks over him, whether he'll even be a goal scorer. Who else? Rashford's obviously not a goal scorer. Greenwood is, but he's 17. Guillermo Echeverria, how you doing, my friend? Super chats. What a fantastic name that is as well, buddy. Guillermo, loving it. He says, Dad is going to beat me, pig. Help. He's tired of that goblin managing United. Oh, dear. I hope that Daddy doesn't beat you too bad there, Guillermo. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised your dad's tired of him because from what we've seen, we haven't improved much in the 6 months that he's been manager. I know a lot of people are not happy with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Guillermo. I get that. But still, the things that I've been saying recently, I'm not just going to change just because we got a draw against Alkmaar here and put in a poor performance. It's no easy fix. It's not a quick fix. He needs time in the job. He needs money. Listen, I wouldn't sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer until the end of the season, regardless of what happens. You may call me stupid for saying that and saying, like, United, you can, if we're clearly not going to be improving at all, and we're just getting awful results and we finish mid-table, then he should be sacked. But, you know, this team's terrible. It is an awful side, and he does need to have a stamp on it and improve. But the fact is he's got to get this team playing with some sort of an identity and a style and administer his tactics better. Because at the moment, it's just not quite happening for United. Thank you very much there, Guillermo Echeverria. Complete legend, Echeverria. Thank you, Echeverria, much for getting in here with your super chat. Anyway, Luke Matthew comments, backward and sideway pass football. Matic, Mata and Fred. Very true. I mean, that's pretty much what all those players give you, especially Matic. I mean, all he can do is turn around and pass it backwards. Fred's not that much better. Mata's got an eye to split a defence, but not tonight and not recently. So I think somebody else should be given the opportunity when it comes around to the Premier League. Again, Newcastle on Sunday. I mean, crikey. You know, that is a game I'm looking at going, shit. You know, because Newcastle are bloody awful. They're truly off. They've got a terrible squad. One of the worst in the league, really. They've got a bang average manager in Brucey. I love him, but he's freaking bang average. They've got an awful owner. They're in a real shit slump at the moment, just like United are. Even worse, in fact. But still, even then, and they lost 5-0 the other day, by the way. 5-0. And even then, I'm looking at that game going, God, are we going to win that game? Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at teams like Astana and Alkmaar and Rochdale and these sorts of teams thinking we'll just absolutely plough through them. But the fact of the reality is we don't have the team good enough to do that, even against those teams. So Newcastle are a bad team. They are. We should smash them. But that doesn't mean that we will. You know, so if we get a bad result in that game, things are going to get pretty bad for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, though. You know, a point away in a Europa League game like this, you can take it on the chin. If we lose to Newcastle United, though, crikey, I'm not sure what will happen there. Steph Herringtonio, Romance and Gothic Writings. Thank you very much, Steph, for getting in here. Comments, Celtic 1 up, Arsenal 3 up. Oh, my days. Anthony Evelyn, Arsenal 3 up. Yeah, thank you for keeping us up to date with what's going on in the Europa League fixtures tonight. Arsenal 3-0 up. There you go. I mean, we were lucky in the end to get a draw against Arsenal, I suppose you could say. Probably not the case. I think we always just seem to rise to the occasion a bit more against Arsenal. But Arsenal are not the best Arsenal we've seen. But look, Ollie needs a bit of time. That's what I'm saying. I know it's not a popular opinion. It's split the fans again at the moment. Some people want him out. But I think he needs the job for a lot longer to be able to work some magic. Di Pablo comments, and he says, if he loses, he should be sacked. That's against Newcastle United. Fair enough. Jarveen Threshthra comments Ollie out. I mean, look, I want to stick with the lad. Give him a chance. He's only had 6 months. He's not had years like Jose Mourinho. He's not had hundreds of millions like Jose Mourinho. And Jose Mourinho is one of the best coaches over the last 20 years. So give Ole Gunnar a chance. The job at managing Manchester United and getting them back on track is one of the hardest jobs in world football right now. Forget your Kettering Towns down in non-league, wherever the hell they are. Bringing them up, that's a tough job too. But United is a monster that is just wounded and is just absolutely falling into bits, man. And we need somebody to come in and rejuvenate this monster. But at the moment, it's not looking like we know any easy way to do it. It's a slow process, unfortunately. Julian comments, Ollie is just not a good coach. He has an eye for talented players, but that's it. Fair enough. Well, look, in terms of tactical astuteness shown, in terms of the quality of the play from United since he's been in there, in terms of in-game management, you know, he's not making me look at him going, wow, what a master stroke starting him, or wow, what a fantastic move bringing him on. You know, it doesn't happen, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think he has got some problems there, but it's early days. You can't expect someone who's managed Molde and Cardiff City to be the finished article yet. It sounds silly to say that, but I think the realistic reason he got the job at Manchester United on a permanent basis is because when he came in, he instantly turned Manchester United around from being a terrible, dreary, slow Jose Mourinho side, which is like the side right now, by the way, in a lot of ways, to being a full-blooded, attacking, freedom, fighting team. And unfortunately, we lost that after 11 games when the permanent managership was given to him. But that's the reason he was given the job, I think. Not just because it's Ole Gunnar, he's an ex-club legend, but because he was given the temporary job and he played his way into the position with putting on a masterstroke, it seemed like. At the time, it seemed like it was a masterstroke. Substitutions he was making were working. Tactics he was implementing were working against good teams too. So it's easy to say that in hindsight now because we're having a mare. But his tactics were good then. So I don't know what's happened. I just want him to revert back to that. Go back to that style. That's why he got the job, though. He didn't get it because he is an inexperienced manager. He didn't get that job based on experience. He got the job initially because he was an ex-United legend and he had some managerial experience. It was just really to see us over until the end of the season, until Pochettino or Zidane or whoever it was at the time that we were talking about as a potential successor to Mourinho would come in, and he was just supposed to be the temporary fix. So it's only really the fact that he played his way into the job while he was given the job. So you have to respect the reason he was given the job. Even at the time, I thought he's the right man for the job. Why did I think that? Because he was barely putting a foot wrong. United were winning every game. We were playing attacking stuff. We were scoring goals. It was brilliant. But this United side's dreary, man. Look at the stats. I think that's 10 games on the bounce now without a win away from home. That's shocking. That's absolutely fantastic, man. You can't have form like that at a club like United. So, of course, he's got to improve. But he needs time, needs money, he needs investment. Until he gets those things, I'll be backing him. Because he wasn't given the right tools in the summer. Right, just a couple more questions, guys. Get them in. And then I'm going to wrap this one up. But appreciate everybody who's taken the time to send questions in. I understand I'd have replied to everybody if I could. But I've only got one set of lips on me. And one set of eyes, which, you know, tomorrow I might only have one eye. Because, like I say, contemplating stabbing one out during that game. Anyway, let's read this comment out here from Collins. Collins and Chanji comments, he was never good in the first place, and to say he's the right man, then I see the unreal attitude. Never good in the first place? I mean, he was good in the first 11 games as Manchester United manager. That's why he got the job. So he was good in the first instance. That's why he got the job. So he wasn't good in the second place or the third place, but in the first place, he was actually good. So fair enough, though. I know what you said. No, you're not happy. I get it. You're not happy, buddy. DJ Acid King Sid Guerrero, great name as well, comments, Ollie needs time, another 10 years. Oh, you've done it. You made me read it out as well. I thought you were actually being genuine there. Anyway, fair enough. I mean, no. Okay, he does actually need time, though. No manager in world football, I don't think, can come in and turn this United around and get us back to being Fergie-esque overnight. It needs a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of change of mentality, ethics, confidence, players, personnel, coaching, whatever. Lots needs to change. Abu Fadl comments, your youth players are also bang average. I think the youth players have not benefited from the lack of confidence in this United side. Back in the day, you'd see youth players coming into a well-oiled machine of a team, and they'd be slotted in there, and they'd have less pressure on them, and they'd be playing with better players in a better system, so they'd look better. Unfortunately, this United side, though, we don't have that right now. So the youth players are coming in there, they're having to step up to the mantle. And a lot of them, you know, a lot of them are just not quite ready yet. That's the truth. But the fact is, if you look at it in a positive, let's put a positive stance on it for once, shall we? I know it's not been that positive and the performance was awful. But we've gone away from home, we've got a draw. We made 8 changes and we played a lot of youth players. Loads of youth players. We still had experienced players on that. It's actually really bang averagely shit, wasn't it? But still, if you want to put a positive on it, you know, we were playing the young lads. But no, listen, they're not ready. They're not ready, but players like Angel Gomez have a bright future ahead of them. Players like Dalot have a bright future ahead of them. 100% I see Dalot being a great right back or a great flying wing back in the future. I really truly do believe that. He's still young. Players like Daniel James, he's only 21. These are the sorts of lads that that we should be looking to get more of at this club and try and build the club up. It's not a quick fix. It's going to be no overnight thing. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. Just realised we've been going for 35 minutes, but thank you to each and every single one of you guys who's tuned in tonight on either the watch-along or the post-match reaction show here. Thank you to everybody who stops by and gets in the comments. Come back once this video is finished and have your say on whatever you think about Manchester United's performance tonight. Do let me know. Do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's just out of his depth and we should cut our losses? I know I've been watching the chat tonight. Loads of people are saying Ole out in here tonight. I'm feeling a little bit sickened by it, guys, and I just want to say to you, give him a freaking proper chance, all right? Mourinho, 3 years. Solskjaer's had 6 months and barely any money. We lost the biggest names on our books. Lukaku, Sanchez, Herrera, they're gone. We didn't replace them with the tech. Give him a freaking break. That's all I'm saying, all right? But yes, he does need to get this team playing better. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you, Richard James, Stephen Zevon, Berberspin, JP, Devil Everhead, Scousegit, Mousel, everybody else who's tuned in. Thank you very much for stopping by on the live stream. Have yourselves a bloody good one. Sort your bloody lives out, United. Glazers, open your bloody checkbooks in the January transfer window. Sign some freaking players, because we are miles away right now. But yeah, we do have to start playing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, time to step up. Time to get this team playing a bit better brand of football. So at the moment, it's dreary, stab your eyes out stuff. Louis van Gaal was proud watching on. Right, guys, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Have a good one. Follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD if you so wish. If you want to send me anything on there, just keep it clean. And keep a lookout for the upcoming videos. Of course, I'll be doing a match watch-along and reaction for the Newcastle game on Sunday, which I'm really worried about now, even though it's only shitty Newcastle. And I will be doing a Fire in My Room rap preview for the Geordies as well. So there you go. Thank you to everybody for stopping by, either on the watch-along or on the post-match tonight. You're a bunch of legends. Take it easy. Have yourselves a good one. And Manchester United are absolutely freaking dreary. Sort your lives out. Now's the time to change. Now's the time to improve. Because I don't think I'll take much more of that shit, to be honest with you. See you later on.